one time. You make me happy.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Yep. Got scrappy in that old Kentucky playpen. When looking back now, I'm left wondering where them days went away. Went for sure, yeah, they spin. When they hates when I'm waving with that Honolulu hang 10. I'm just doing what I want. Mountains there to climb on. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you dive on. The prize must be what you keep your eyes on. A focused mind like I studied under masters up in Taiwan. Let that truth hit you. Tunes get jujitsu. Don't bitch, dude. You lace them up if that shoe fits you. We with you. Man, sometimes you gotta fix you. But no excuses, no din-dos. Man, just lay back and turn it up. Ray, word 'em up. Working on his farmer's tan underneath the burning sun. We gonna ride this cover wagon till its last wheel. Gotta love it when the music sounds just like the grass feels. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray.
All right,
hey, yo,
all right,
Ray.
people, here we go. We
Hey,
got
yo,
day
Ray,
4
Ray.
going on.
Hey, yo,
All
Ray,
right,
Ray.
welcome to Monday, day 4. How you doing? How you doing? Get out there and touch some grass. What are you doing out there, huh? What are you doing? Let's touch some grass to get it going. Are you, check in with yourself. How you doing today? How you doing? How's your week going? Are you excited about it? You got anything cool going on? You got any Amazon packages coming? Did you order anything? You got any holiday things coming? It is November. Winter is coming. You know, I saw some fantastic art by Sue Howell and reposted that. I always love her texture, and she's doing like, you know, watercolors, and she does the seasons, and it's wintertime. I just love seeing that kind of stuff. Gonna try and get her on. I don't know if she wants to or not, but I'm gonna try. All right. We had a really good talk yesterday with Ebi about the Space King cartoon, and basically about provocative cartoons and AI and a whole bunch of stuff like that. Now, the first part, we did get struck down because I played the Space King's cartoon. Bad. But that's okay. We came up and finished off the second part and had a great talk and had a great time. And man, you know, time flies when Ebi is on there. And I'm going to have to brush up on my Spanish. Maybe get me a Colombian or something like that. Nice little hottie to help me out with it or something. That's a good idea. So I can hablar con mi amigo in España. You know, that's Ebi Canales. You just want to say it like that. Now, if you don't follow him, go follow him. I already got his YouTube up. I retweeted it on my Twitter. That's how I'm going to say it, people. I'm not saying X. I'm saying Twitters. The Twitters. Okay? And so I'm really excited about that. And the day before, we had a really good live on Saturday. I don't know if you saw that, but really good conversation that day about being a goal machine and how to take charge of your own goal machine nature in order to get what you want out of it. So that was on Saturday. Go watch that. Then we had James and John come on. We had a really good conversation about that, the goal machine, about the application in your life, and about how to deploy the strategies to get your own goals, to do your own things. You know what I mean? To make it happen. You know, so many people talk about goals like they think, oh, well, you know, I'm going to become a college graduate master's degree. Those aren't the goals I'm talking about. I'm talking about the goals, like when you're driving by the 7-Eleven and you're thinking, I could use some of them donuts. You know, that's the goals I'm talking about. Those little, you know, things that come in through our senses that try to dictate our behavior. You know, or you're driving by a Chinese joint on the way home, you're like, oh, I'll give you some chow mein, boy, some egg rolls. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or, you know, if you are into training, working out, and you get that dopamine hit, you got to have that routine, and you got your, you know, your coffee or your like energy drink or whatever. You got to get them goal machines going for your physiology. You know what physiology means? It means your body, right? You want your body producing the right levels of everything to get you excited about the positive things in your life to go forward and have that work. You know, that's what you want. That's the goals I'm talking about. Your daily goals. When you get hungry, when you get thirsty, when you get sleepy, when you get horny, all that stuff, okay? You got to control those goals in order to propel yourself into the future that you want to create for you and your family. And that's what this channel is all about, becoming a goal machine unto yourself. You don't give that away to some other entity to steal your, you know, excitement, life force, all that resources, money, time, all that stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what we talked about on Saturday. I'm looking forward to this next Saturday. I already got the live worked out what we're going to talk about. Now on Tuesday, we're going to talk to CK about some more of that surfing. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have a live with him. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have the Bruvs unite again. We're going to talk to James and probably get some other guys on for hour 2. So that'll be a lot of fun. Those will be at 3 o'clock on Tuesday and then 4 o'clock Wednesday, respectively. So come by and watch that. Pacific Standard Time. I always got to say that because I got people all over the world. You know, I got Ebi over there, you know, in Central European Time, and then James in English Time, and blah, 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 blah. And I even might be having a interview with Maximus Adolfson on Thursday. So he said that Thursday might work out for him, so I'm going to try and make that happen. We're going to figure that out. There's a couple technical issues that I got to get into because, you know, then we'll solve those problems and make that happen. So I'm excited about that. He's that fantastic illustrator that reminds me a little bit of Richard Scarry. If you don't know Richard Scarry, he used to draw all of those fun little children's books about what do they do all day. You know, and they had those different animals, and one was a baker, one was an electrician, the fireman, and then you had Lowly the worm with the one boot that jumped around and all that, and it was fantastic. And he doesn't draw exactly like him, but what I mean is he creates an instantaneous, you know, environment of imagination where you all of a sudden you look into it and you're thinking, well, what's this person do? What does that do? Well, who's he do? What's he up to? Well, what's going on there? Why are they doing that? And he's a master at it. So we'll look forward to talking to him about creativity, and I'll be really, really excited about that. And so I'm looking forward to that. So are you stoked? Get stoked, okay? If you're not stoked, check your pulse, make sure you're still alive. Find something to get excited about, okay? Stoke that fire inside of you, okay? Make sure, number 2, you got that critical eye locked in the hole, okay? Keep that critical eye under lock and key until you want to bring him out as your big gun, you know? Exercise your impulse control. It is a muscle that you must exercise. It'll keep you out of trouble. It'll keep your energy going in the right direction, right? Because what do we say around here? You know, where your attention goes, your energy flows. That's the reality that you build for yourself, okay? That's a lot of that woo-woo talk just wrapped up in an egg roll, just served right there for you to crunch on, okay? And finally, how's your schedule doing? Are you maintaining your schedule? You got it worked out? You know, this is like, I think the 4th or 5th 30-day challenge that we've been doing, okay? So I hope it's transformed your schedule. I hope it's alerted you to take these tools and put them in other parts of your life and work on your schedule. And basically take back your time from those other things that it's so easy to get your time sucked into, whether it be, you know, TV or video games or scrolling on the TikTok or whatever. You know, put that time towards something for yourself so that in a month, in a year, in 5 years, all of that time adds up and it puts you in a better position in your life. Puts you and your family in a better position. Maybe a better house. Maybe you own your house. Maybe a better car. Maybe a relationship with somebody that you wish you had. You know, a best friend or somebody that you loved. Or maybe you'll get a horse. Maybe you want to become a vaquero. You know, that's that Espanol that Ebi has been teaching me. The vaquero. You know, the cowboy. Maybe you're going to become a cowboy or a cowgirl. You know, get a little pony or something like that. Or a bulldog. You know, you never know. Hell, a cat might even just show up right at your front door. You never know about it. It's trying to steal your time because it wants to be fed. But you get what I'm saying, right? All right, so we're day 4 of our series. Get out there and touch grass. Touch that grass. And this first week, we're going to go ahead and give you the tools to do that. Okay, so we gave an intro last time when we basically did the Tower of California right here. And it's all ready to go, ready to be watercolored however we want to do it. And we're going to do that later, but not today. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to extremely simplify the process for you so that, you know, you're looking at this and you're saying, Ray, that's great, but you can draw, buddy. You can draw, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, yeah, okay, but all of this is built on a foundation of psychology. Okay, and today we're going to go over that foundation of psychology, and we're going to do 4 thumbnails. Okay, 4 quick thumbnails. They might even be just 5 minutes, maybe even 2.5 minutes each. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get my my El Cheapo pens, right? These are Sharpies, okay? This one's fine and this one's small, okay? And then I have the medium one right here, and I have the Big Daddy one right here, and I absolutely love the Big Daddy one, but we're not gonna have time to use that today because today we're just gonna do thumbnails, okay? So we're just gonna use the fine and the small today. Now, what I've done is I've pulled up just 4 images. I got 4 images on my computer, okay? And I'm gonna pull them up on my computer, but I'm also gonna show them up here on the screen somewhere. I don't know where yet. And I'm gonna show you what we got going on. Now, before we get into that, I have these little blocks. You guys remember these little blocks? This one's 2 by 3, 2 inches by 3 inches. Now you can make your little templates, blocks like this out of cardboard or whatever you want. It has to be like something a little bit, you know, it could be a 3 by 5 card. And then I got my watercolor paper right here. You can see that watercolor pad right there like that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my block right on my watercolor paper like so. Like so. And then I'm just going to outline it, you know. And I'm going to outline it 4 times. And you can see I already did that. And so I got 4 little thumbnails ready to go. And these are going to be 4 different scenes, okay? You see them all up there. And the reason why we do this is because we use this in order to make our work presentable, coherent, and have an air of professionalism, okay? Presentation is what separates the amateur to the professional, okay? Now, I'll give you a little story. You could go ahead and throw all kinds of paint on a canvas and then put it in a dynamite frame, and people are going to be like, oh, that's art right there. That's art. It's got a good frame. It's like, oh, yeah. Or you can paint something, you know, whatever, just kind of, you know, something that's good and not put it in the frame, and nobody's going to buy it because they want it already framed so they can put it on their wall. You get what I'm saying? So the presentation is what counts, and that's why you want to go ahead and get concerned, start thinking about this presentation aspect of your artwork, because it's a very, very simple way that through discipline alone, you can advance your artwork significantly, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Here we go. All right, now we got me up in the corner. I got my fun little thumbnails going on right here. We're looking great. We're looking great, people, okay? Now, what I want you to focus on, and I got my pencil right here, okay? I got a pencil too, and I got an eraser. I probably won't use the eraser, but I got them here just in time. So I got these 3 things. So all you need is a, you know, watercolor paper and your 3 or 4 implements right here. I'm gonna put my eraser up here. Don't need to really worry about that. And I got this image right now, and all of these images are courtesy of my boy, Big B Trucker. So shout out to Big B Trucker. He's one of my good buddies. And what Big B Trucker does is, you might, in his title, he drives around. He drives a truck across the nation. And he stops at places, and him and his wife take pictures. And she's a fantastic photographer, okay? And so this first image is of somewhere in a desert with Big B Trucker. Now, we're looking at this image, and we want to put it right here. So the first thing we're going to do is find the horizon line, okay? So we just do that right there, all right? Now, you can draw 1 line, 3 lines, but just relax. You know, get yourself all relaxed. Dance around a little bit. Be excited. Prepare your little vessel to get some work done, okay? Now we're going to put the big rock. We're going to estimate where the big rock is, and we're not even going to worry about if the rock looks like a rock. We're just going to draw a box just like that. You see that right there? Just like that. A box and a horizon line. That's all we got, okay? And then I'm looking behind it, and I see that mountain behind it, and I'm just going to draw a little box like that, okay? So this right now represents our image and our landscape that we're going to do, okay? Now I see a little bit of a trail, and this is going to give us some depth, and I'm going to draw the trail as a diagonal. So there's our diagonal, okay? And then we got some bushes in the foreground, all right? And then we got this little piece of the rock right there, okay? Now that is all you have to do to get your landscape going. That's it. You can do that, right? Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some magic, and this landscape is just going to come to life right away, okay? We're going to look up at the rock. We're going to draw a line where we see a big line. We're going to give it a little bit of a contour like so, and a little bit of contour like so. We're just looking at it. We're just guessing what it looks like, okay? We're just guessing what the shape is. We're not even worried about what the shape really is, okay? And I'm drawing 2 or 3 lines at one time. The important thing is you put it in the right position and the right proportion, all right? The shape doesn't even have to be right, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and fix this box back here. We're going to make it look like maybe some mountains, okay? Now we know I got some foliage right here. So I'm just gonna draw some scrumble. That's what this is called, a little scrumble action right there. Now I want to put something in the foreground to make this image really pull together as a landscape, but I don't see that he has anything in this image. So I'm going to take one of those bushes and I'm just going to put it flat in the foreground like so. Okay? And I might put a little bit of bush receding back here and a little diagonal right there. And that's it, people. Now I'm coming in here with my ink, okay? And you're going to really see it pop off, come to life. And I'm just going to adjust it ever so slightly as we go, ever so slightly. Okay, there we go. We got some of that rock right there, like so. We just scrumbling around, just having a good time. We got this in the background, okay? We got some of these trees in the foreground. All right, just scrumbling away. Can you guys see that? Just scrumbling away. They got this little path right here. It's gonna do some broken lines. Remember, don't make all the lines straight or continuous. Variety induces life. Right? So here's the bush in the front. I'm gonna give it a little bit of shadow maybe, like so. Okay, here's the bush over here. I'm gonna put a little bit of broken lines to give it a little bit more of this diagonal action going here. And there we go. Okay, we have our very first, well, let me give it a little outline. Give it a little outline. Our very first thumbnail. Okay, so how long did that take? Was that 2 minutes? That might have been just 2 minutes. I'm gonna time myself on this next one. So there's our first thumbnail. Okay, that was easy, right? You can do that. That was no problem. You can do that. Let me go ahead and just put a base to those trees right there. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go to the second one. Okay. We're gonna go to the second one. Courtesy of Big B Trucker. Now this time we're gonna travel all the way up into the mountains. Okay. So we're looking at this mountain range. All right, now I'm going to time myself. We're right at 16 minutes right now, okay? So we're looking at the mountain range, and it's pretty hard to find the horizon line. But I'm going to look to where the bottom of the valley is, okay? I'm going to put this image up next to me. You're going to see it, all right? Okay, and I'm just going to draw the base mountain that I think I see, okay? Now I'm going to cut the image in half, whoop, where I think those mountains are in the back. And then I'm just going to guesstimate where I think those mountains are coming in at. Okay, a couple diagonals, okay, a little diagonal back there, and then the mountains way in the back, okay, like so, okay. Then he's got a couple clouds up here, you know, just for fun, just for funsies, okay. And then he's got some trees down here, like so, no big deal. He's got flowers in the foreground, okay. So fantastic. So when you're thinking about thumbnails, what you really want to think about is you want to think about background, middle ground, and foreground. Okay, those are and sky. Those are the 4 different components. So you got foreground, middle ground, background, and sky. That's all you got to worry about. So I just laid that in there right at 17 minutes and 22 seconds. So here we go. Now we're gonna jump in here and we're just gonna go ahead and put some trees in here. And you know, notice the trees are just, I'm just marking it with vertical lines for these trees. Maybe a couple of teepees at the top. And these are those conifer trees, these fir trees, right? And you let the imagination of the viewer complete the rest of the picture, okay? Now we're gonna do this, this mountain right here, coming up like so. Now the diagonals are what really creates the illusion of depth. So you gotta overlap those diagonals, people, all right? And these are just simple little tricks. Once you get them and you understand the basic, how the images work, you can use this to create any kind of landscape from imagination possible. And it really becomes exciting and opens up the entire world to you, okay? So over here we got some flowers just popping up. Now when I come back and do the watercolor, all of this is going to come together. It's going to be beautiful, okay? So now we got some clouds up here, you know, just floating by out in the mountains, okay? This might be Glacier National Park, I'm not sure. Big B drives all over the place. And they take some fantastic pictures, all right? Now we're going to go ahead and give it an outline, just like so. All right, let me get this going like so. Boom. Okay, we're right on 18 minutes and 40 seconds. So from 16 to 18, so that's 2 minutes and 40 seconds. That's under 3 minutes that we completed that little thumbnail for a landscape, okay? So how exciting is that? That's pretty fucking exciting, okay? Now I got to keep the F-bombs to a minimum because I might have some younger viewers watching. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next one. Like I said, we're doing 4. Okay, we're doing 4 of these. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next one. Now this is another desert scene right here, and this one right here has a Joshua tree. I think this is over at Joshua Tree National Forest out by where I live. Okay. First thing we want to find is the horizon line. So we look at the top of the sky in the image, and we come down about. It looks like it's about halfway. Go ahead and find that horizon line. Then we're going to go ahead and put in that mountain in the background, and it could be a straight line, or you could follow the contour, but don't focus on it too much. Okay. Then in the middle ground, we have some of these bushes and some of the Joshua trees. And then right as we come to the front, we have this nice open patch, and we're going to leave it open. I'm going to edit this image as we're going along. And then right on the right, on the left here, we have this big Joshua tree, just chilling, doing his thing, standing out, having a good time, and then some more bushes. That's it. That's all we're going to do for that. Now watch, we're going to pull this all together. Oh wait, I forgot. He does have clouds, and I want to get a couple of those clouds in there. Because I love the clouds, because when you put the brilliant blue of the watercolor against these desert triad of colors, it just really pops it off, and it looks fantastic. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to this Joshua tree, because I want to make sure that the Joshua tree has open lines that are uncontested when I do everything else. Okay, so I want to leave these lines open for the Joshua tree. Okay, now when I go back to the background, it'll have the nice open lines of the Joshua tree. So you can start in the foreground, you can start in the midground. Wherever you fancy or feel like you want to start, you can just go ahead and start there. I'm going to move back to the midground now, the middle ground. Okay, add some of these broken lines just to indicate the bushes, and there's a couple other Joshua trees back here. Just kind of scrumble those in, give the indication or just the marks, the ink marks of the Joshua tree. No big deal. They're just little vertical lines. Just like the fir trees, the conifer trees in the last one. This just so happens to be out in the desert. Okay. Now we're going to add that nice French ultramarine blue of the mountains in the background. Okay, and they go just like that. Okay, and then there's a couple of shadows, and those shadows are going to be key because they're really, really beautiful, dark blue. Okay, and then we're going to add some of the clouds, like so. Okay, little clouds. And really, once you start doing this and start understanding how this works, it really becomes quite relaxing. Okay, and then we're going to outline it. Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. Okay, so there's our third thumbnail. Okay, no big deal. And we're going to get these ready to be watercolored the next time. Okay, so you'll see how we're going to do that. All right, now we're going to come up on our fourth and final. We got one more thumbnail to do, and this is out in the desert again. I love them desert colors. And this is a desert with a whole bunch of those big cartoon style cactuses. I don't know, I forget what they're called. First thing you're going to want to do is find that horizon line where the earth meets the sky. Then we're going to throw in some mountains, okay? And then we're going to jump down to the foreground. I'm going to throw in, I love these kind of circular cactuses. So we're going to put some of these circular padded cactuses in the foreground. We got some more over here. And it's okay to overlap the drawings or whatever, don't even worry about it, okay? Then we're going to indicate just the midground. So as you can see, the midground is just indicated by this line right here and this shape. See this shape right here? You can see this shape? That's the midground, okay? And then the mountains are in the background in the sky, okay? And then what we're going to do is, that's about enough of that. Put a couple of broken lines in there, no problem. And then we're going to put some of these great cactuses in here. So we're going to draw this line up here. And then we're going to do the horseshoe, like how the horseshoe cactuses are, okay? And then we'll do some in the distance, just poking up, just poking up, just poking up in the distance. Okay, see how I did that right there? And then we're going to go ahead and do some in the extreme foreground. And then he's kind of cropped out a little bit, okay? And he's got his little big old pads. They're not little, just popping out. So now we're ready to go in with the ink pen, okay? So of course we're going to start where we want to keep the pads in the very front unbroken. So I want you to be able to see the pads By unbroken, I mean there's no lines going through the whites. You get what I'm saying? You have to protect the whites of the shape with no lines going through them. So that I turn your attention to that first, and you got a little bit of these pads popping up. Okay. Next, what we're going to have is we're going to have this big old. You know, sometimes it helps to make sound effects. That's okay. You can make sound effects. And we're going to go ahead and get this pad over here as he's reaching up in the sky. We're going to go over here and do the same thing with this one. Now I could use the ink pen to make it all black, but that might dominate the image too heavily, especially when we're using these nice soft desert colors. So I'm already thinking about what's going to happen when we watercolor. Okay? Now you don't have to be thinking about that because you know I'm the one showing you how to do it, right? So I got to be thinking about that. All right, so then we got some of this foliage in the foreground. We got the middle ground right here. You know, right here is where we're saving that line, right? We're not going to break that shape, okay? And same thing over here with these other standing cacti. We're going to go ahead and do this. Okay. Then we're going to put in the mountain in the back right here. Now this one doesn't really have too many clouds. It has more of a, looks like fog. So I'm just going to leave the clouds out of this one. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to outline it for our final completion. And it's okay if the lines aren't straight. That's the beauty and the nature of what we're doing here. This is human made. This is made by people, okay? People aren't perfect. It's not all straight lines, okay? Now I am going to sign this because I'm going to end up sending this to Big B Trucker, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put the date on it because I love to put the date on things. So it's 11/03/25. And there you go. We got it right here, ready to go. It's ready to go into the watercolor stage. Okay. Now, of course, you can leave it at this stage if you want. You can even go ahead and use tone. If you have other markers to use tone, you can use your markers on it. Or you can hang around and you can do watercolor with us when we're going to do watercolor in the next couple of days. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe we'll do these two together tomorrow, do watercolor, and we'll show you how to do that. But that's how easy it is, people. When you take the worry of the detail out of your mind and you just let your pencil do the work for you. And you use a couple of the mechanics of what is it? The point of view of the it's slipping my mind. Sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying? Perspective. You use a couple of the mechanics of the perspective to guide your shapes, your basic shapes, and it creates this illusion of a landscape. Okay, so that's really exciting. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get out there, make yourself a couple of these blocks if you haven't made them already. You can make them out of wood, or if you got a nice little wood shop set up, or if you don't have a wood shop, just use a box that you got from Amazon. You know, cut yourself out, measure it out, cut it out, and then throw yourself a couple of thumbnails on a piece of paper like this. It could be in your sketchbook, or it could be a watercolor block like this. All of the links for the supplies that I use are down in the description, so go ahead and, if you don't get them, go ahead and get them on Amazon. I got a couple more of these coming for me, a couple more of these watercolor blocks, the small ones. And get out there and have fun, relax, let yourself go, okay? Don't let the critical eye beat you up and make you think you have to get the details. If you find yourself getting lost in the details, then just give yourself a command to only use squares and diagonal lines, and that's it. And then after you get those established, you can go in and you can work those shapes more detail oriented if you want to, okay? It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to kick ass and get out there and do some of it. Come on now, let's go.